subsidy of the country or even any economic benefits. He built a tower to remain always an example of what the Egyptians can do. Absolutely. So taking them there can actually prove that the Egyptians have the free will to establish relationship, whether economic, trade, or political or international relations with whoever, because a strong country has a leadership role, not just in the Middle East, but the entire world. And the last point in terms of cooperation, I think the cultural cooperation, acting, singing, music, and we've seen that cultural centers are spreading across Egypt, and this is the soft power. I think Egypt lost its leadership position in the 90s due to its inability to use its soft powers in terms of culture, religion, Al-Azhar, the church, and I think this is now what Egypt needs to focus on, and the focus on new relationship is going to really take the three major factors into account: political, economic, and cultural.
This is a very important decision, if you allow me, regarding the censorship, and the sense from now on movies won't be censored, and this is a step forward in regards to the evolution of culture.
Yeah, the discussion we had yesterday, last night, was actually around the same topic, which is actually better for Egypt, to have a Russian military base on its land, or build a cultural social relationship. And it's always the cultural social relationship that establishes strong ties that never really ends. And unlike what we see in Qatar, for example, that small tiny country that had a dream to be big at some stage, because they have a military base that belongs to the United States on their land, thinking that makes them a powerful country.
Sir, talking about this, definitely we are all happy with this, what happened, and you feel proud because the ceremony that took place, no one can ever believe that this is Egypt.
Yeah.
It is completely different, it is not part of the protocol, but it reflects a direct message to the West. But who's going to harvest, because this is the word that we used to talk about, who is going to take benefit, the opportunity to start working, because as you mentioned, we have many different opportunities when it comes to the relation between Russia and Egypt.
Yeah.
And we have to admit that on the other side, there are many people who are not in favor of this.
That's right.
Those who are taking benefit of the different or mutual work between, of course, the United States, Europe, and Egypt, the businessmen, the huge companies.
That's right.
They're not interested, or they're not in favor, and they will start to put some obstacles.
Yeah.
Can this, are they going to succeed? How can we work or to face this challenge?
There is a say that I actually believe in it, that the West really invaded us not because of their power, but it's actually because of our weakness.
Because of us.
Because of us. We were really, we've seen the former President Mubarak allowed really to be under the feet of the Americans and getting into everything in our life, into health, into social, into agriculture. And we've seen the major damage that really caused. And in the end, Egypt lost its image, not just the world, but the entire Middle East and the Arabs. Now we've seen tiny countries that started to talk about Egypt as if it was an equal country to them. They totally forgot the favors that Egypt has always done for them. So here, I'll go back to your point, is what we need is the political will. Political will is always what made us lose the opportunities. We've seen a lot of agreements. We probably got over 70 trade agreements between Egypt and Russia. Most of them have not been activated. The same thing with China. And if you look at the trade agreements between Egypt and China, we export to China, for example, $700 million worth of goods. We import 7.4. So we actually have a trade deficit of $7 billion. We've got trade deficit of $8 billion with the United States and $8 billion with Russia. So here is the clash between the businessman community and the state. Now, if you talk about the import and export, globalization, I'm not in favor of globalization, because we don't have the economic power to back up our community, to protect our industries, and we've seen the problem of cotton. We cannot even export it because of the trade agreements we went into. So here, what you mean is basically a reform on our side, that we should have people that believe in that vision. And I've always said that President Sisi is having the difficulty, as I said in the beginning. He's got the vision of the Alexander, but he doesn't have the tools. And the tools is the administrative system. We've got a 6.5 million people in the administrative system, costing the country 209 billion pounds to 26% of the budget, and we already got a deficit increasing to 120 and 32 in the first 6 months.
Can we have some new faces and support them when it comes to this? I don't know whether this can work or not, but because unfortunately we have some tycoons, they are controlling the market, and there are many people who are willing to get into the market and work, but unfortunately they are not able to.
We've got to differentiate. When it comes to administrative reform, we've got to differentiate between people that really sold Egypt, and I mean the word sold Egypt, because I told it, absolutely, and the ones that are actually not qualified. And we were talking this morning about people that actually have the will to help Egypt in terms of agreements or even marketing tourism. I'm finding it very hard for the employees that in the Ministry of Tourism and the promotion and association to actually market Egypt. I've seen trade exhibitions that are really held in other countries costing the country fortune, and nobody visits it because of the two problems that we have. In terms of the administrative reform, we need to look at three areas parallelly. Number one, the people that work in the administrative system, are they qualified? And in terms of qualified, the corrupted ones need to be isolated and excluded and taken out. The ones that are not qualified, we need to have new faces, as you kind of mentioned. It's absolutely true. We've got a new era. We're entering a new era. We need people with different vision and the ideas that will change Egypt in the face of the 21st century are the ones that think outside the box, because using the same tools will lead to the same results. Now, here's a question to President Sisi. If you want to have new results in the 21st century with new movements, how is that going to happen if you've got the same faces? It's not going to happen. So we need an urgent administrative reform, that people that can actually believe in the same vision. And that's exactly what we need, is the people. The institutions, we've got 36 ministries. It's a lot. It's a huge administrative system. In the United States, we've got 12. So we need to work in silo, help organizations to work, and this is exactly the system that's going to work in investment, in foreign direct investment. The main entity that will be dealt with in terms of investment is the the GAFI.
So in your opinion, do you think that there's, you said, kindly mentioned that there's a political will.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a clear vision?
Definitely. President Sisi has a clear vision. But with that clear vision, you need the tools to implement. And the tools are basically the administrative system. Your institutions, the people that work in the system, and the legislation. The correct